So the program is live. Please go ahead.
Should I go ahead? Dear viewers from across India and those who are viewing this particular program, a revolutionary in this very contour and very implication, that is Education Pe Charcha. This is Vivekanand Jha, an author, academician, and public intellectual. You all know, my viewers, that we kick-started this particular revolutionary program on last Saturday, wherein we kick-started our program with one of the doyen of education, that is Dr. Jagannath Patnaik Sahab. Today, I am so very apologetic to all my viewers for having for having kick-started this program little late, because today our honored guest, that is Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Rajesh Singh Sahab, he was so much preoccupied, because you can well understand, being a Vice Chancellor of such a reputed university as Pandit Dayal Upadhyay University of Gorakhpur, he got so inordinately busy today, and that is why it resulted in a delay in commencement of our program. But I guarantee you today that just in the similar fashion as we could manage to give you the best of outputs in course of our last interaction with the management guru, the Vice Chancellor of Sikkim, Dr. Jagannath Patnaik Sahab. Today, likewise, we are going to get all sort of rich contents from none other than a man of equal talent, a personification of knowledge, and epitome of erudition. That is Dr. Sri Rajesh Singh Ji, the Vice Chancellor of Pandit Dayal Upadhyay University. He is the former Vice Chancellor of Punya University, and of course an agricultural scientist of ICAR, one of the most talented person in the field of education. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss, as you all know, that is how to bring agriculture onto the national mainstream. This is the topic on which today I am going to interact with highly resourceful person, a specialist in this particular field, the Dr. Sri Rajesh Singh Sahab. Before I invite him for interaction, a very intellectual interaction, I would like to tell you something about Vidyadan, the platform on which we are conducting this program. Vidyadan basically has been adept in terms of imparting online skills across India, and it has got multiple programs which is being telecast or which is being conducted from this particular platform as such. So therefore, we have chosen this Education Pe Charcha all the more because we have multiple programs on politics. The moment you switch on TV, you find plethora of programs on politics. But education, despite education being playing a pivotal part in all our lives, it is getting some sort of short shrift, because or rather, in as much as the sort of attention that it should command, it is not at all commanding even the negligible, deserving attention that it all the more needs to elicit from all of us. Therefore, being an educationist from Chartered Accountancy and BA Finance, having taught at management colleges, premier managers colleges across India, and being a very renowned author today, I have decided to conduct this particular program for the betterment of the multitude. Because today, the entire humanity is passing through a humongous crisis which has engulfed all of us in its octopus-like grip. And especially in case of students, they today appear to be directionless. They appear to be in a state of ambivalence because they do not know exactly where to go, because they have never experienced, because this is a century, a crisis which is unprecedented in its very implication, in its very nature. Therefore, it has become really very incumbent on the part of the intellectuals or the intelligentsia class to ensure that our children and our those who are pursuing the higher education should not get neglected because of this ongoing crisis. Their education should continue, and therefore education pe charcha assumes a very pivotal importance in as much as we are bringing all resourceful people. And I must be thankful from the bottom of my heart for the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Pandit Dayal Upadhyay, one of the greatest ideologues of the nationalism in this country. When I say Pandit Dayal Upadhyay ji, whom I quoted and about whom I wrote in my last book, the only book written in the Republic in the wake of abrogation of Article 370 of Indian Constitution, the making of Narendra Modi and making of Jawaharlal, as the man who tried to change the nation through his vision. Antodaya, that is the philosophy, the lofty philosophy of Pandit Dayal Upadhyay. And today, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sahab Sri Rajesh Singh ji is, being a Vice Chancellor, the head of the university, an educational leader, is trying to ensure that the vision of Antodaya, which was espoused by the great ideologue Pandit Dayal Upadhyay, finally crystallizes at the ground level. So therefore, without making much of inroad into his valuable time, as well as the valuable time of all our readers, all our viewers from across India and from different parts of the world, I would like to offer my sincere apology for late starting this particular proceeding. But as once again I reiterate my assurance that indeed all the viewers are going to be the beneficiaries, because overall interaction is definitely going to matter a lot, which I guarantee it will have intellectual flavor and intellectual touch. So now I would like to invite Dr. Sri Rajesh Singh ji. Sir, before one more thing I would like to say before I invite Sir for interaction and for unfolding of his vision, it becomes very important for me to share with you some basic inputs pertaining to agriculture. An agriculture university, basically you'd appreciate the fact that agriculture being the predominant part of our lives, the lives of our nation, because even Mahatma Gandhi had said in the past that India, the soul of India, resides in its 5 lakh villages. But then, what about agriculture, the share of agriculture in the GDP, the gross domestic product? It comes to 14 to 15%, whereas it provides 52% of the employment of rural employable youth in agriculture sector. Its contribution to GDP is not that or not as much as it ought to have been. So that is a very important point we'll discuss today. And most important point, our food grain, the production of food grain has increased manifold just in comparison to what was the production in the year 1960. It was only 51 million tons. In 2016-17, it has come to be 273.38 million tons. It means that overall production is in proportion to our burgeoning population. So it is more or less keeping keeping pace with the increase in population. Next very important point, which I would like to say, agricultural university has following disciplines it takes agriculture, following discipline are being taught. Agricultural engineering, forestry, horticulture, then veterinary, animal husbandry, fisheries, science, information technology, agri-business management, etc. And next one, I would say that the sort of why agriculture flounders or it languishes, it is because of few regions which we'll know later from our expert. But in the meanwhile, like low productivity, decreasing profitability in farming, poor image of farms to the market, poor links of farms to the market, low knowledge of input agriculture, blah, blah, blah. Now, since our resource person, Honorable VC Sahab, was a scientist, agricultural scientist in ICAR, he will be able to unfold the profundity of his vision for agriculture and how it can be suitably and adequately and rather expediently be integrated with the mainstream education that we'll know from him a while later. Now we are coming to know from him, most importantly, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan was the slogan given by Lal Bahadur Shastri. Because at that point in time, India was suffering, from the shortage of the production of food grain. And while the war was going on with Pakistan, the great Prime Minister then had given a clarion call to his citizens that to forego a meal in the evening so that it could be saved for in the national interest. Later on, another illustrious Prime Minister, the statesman Prime Minister of India, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, had added Vigyan to that particular slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan. And today, we are going to understand the overall implication of integrating Vigyan with Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan. And therefore, it is a high time that I invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sahab, Sri Rajesh Singh ji, to introduce, to say something about his own background, that how being an agricultural scientist, today he's actualizing the vision of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay in the Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay University in Gorakhpur. And as I came to know from one of the articles, when the Honorable Governor, Her Excellency, the Governor of Uttar Pradesh, Anandi Benji, when she appointed our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sahab, she has lot of expectations. The people of Uttar Pradesh has a huge expectations in the visionary leader that is Sri Rajesh Singh ji. So let us know from him. Sir, it is your time. Please tell us something about your work in ICAR, and then you are being presiding over the destiny of Purnia University first, and then today, the presiding over the destiny of Gorakhpur Deen Dayal Upadhyay University. How you carry your own vision of a scientist, and trying to translate into educational field while presiding over the destiny of first Purnia and today Deen Dayal Upadhyay University. Sir, please let the viewers know something from you. Your time, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vivekanand Jha. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, this platform. I don't know how you selected this topic. Interestingly, bringing agriculture in mainstream of education. I think I'm one of the person who has gone through both the things, and I can tell you some of the things which indicate it's a today. It's not agriculture we have to bring to the main stream. Agriculture is guiding the main education. How? I'll tell you. I did, I did my BSc graduation and post graduation from HAU Hisar, Haryana Agriculture University Hisar. This is one of the finest university in country. First it was in Punjab, then it became Haryana Agriculture University Hisar. And these are the land grant pattern of university. Land grant pattern of universities are basically US universities. Those universities where there are a large number of teachers, and the teacher and student ratio is very low, and they feel that the university should have a strong research, teaching also, but strong research and extension. Teaching, extension, research, all the three components go together. What the technology you develop, and then you send it to the farmers. So these are the land grant pattern of universities. There are large number of teachers are there, and they specialize in this thing. So they were set up in very well planned way. This is, like you said, we have fisheries, we have veterinary, we have agriculture, we have animal science, we have basic science, we have home science, we have so like that, social science. If you see that they were set up in very, very planned way. Literally because I became Vice Chancellor of first time Pune University, because that was a new university. And then I also had additional charge of Bihar University, Muzaffarpur. And then I also had a charge of Darbhanga, Lalitna and Mithila University Darbhanga, 6 months, and then also Sanskrit. So I understand that setup. I understand the weaknesses. The major students are there 85% in these affiliating universities. These affiliating universities like I have been Vice Chancellor of Purnia University, Mitla University, Gorakhpur University. Well, now it is called Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gorakhpur University. So they literally 85% students are coming here, and the government is not doing much for these universities where best students are coming. Means 85 to 90%. Just they are something like that. They are just distributing degrees. These affiliated colleges. So now the new education policy has come. What new education policy says? That says to adopt CBS system, adopt these system. These all, if you see, they are coming from land grant pattern of universities. Basically, there's the agriculture universities. How they were set up, now they are introducing credit system here in the this affiliate these universities like Gorakhpur and Purnia. Now they are introducing under umbrella of new education policy. So I can understand it because I studied in Haryana Agriculture University. This was perfectly land grant pattern of university. There was a semester system, there was a credit system, but these universities, majority of teachers are not understanding. Why they are not understanding? You see, credit system is a very simple. It's a very old one. It's started in 60s in US. Same thing we have adopted, but we have not adopted everything in that setup because we want to do it in Indianization of that system, and that is the bad part. We are, suppose, I'll just give you one example. Dr. Vivekanand, now CBS system, in Gorakhpur University, we are offering MSc in physics. We are offering 100 credit hours. 1 credit hour is equal to 1 hour teaching in a week. It's a universal. It's a credit means it's a 5 credit hours means 5 hour of teaching in a 5 hour of teaching in a week. So they are offering 100 credit hours, and literally many of universities are offering in Bihar as well as UP, even sometimes Central University, unless until it's agriculture university or IITs or who adopted the CBS system before 2014. So they were perfect. They could copy the American system, but we could not. How to compare the best university in the world who is offering MSc in physics? They are offering only 32 credits. 30 to 32 credits. So you have to complete 32 credit hours in 2 years for getting a pristine degree, a pristine university, the #1 university in physics world. And we, Delhi University, when DDU Gorakhpur offering 100 credit. How you will compare it? Whether they will respect you? They will not respect you. And this we are not, I was the only university because this under new education policy, they started this thing in UP that 70% common syllabus. Means they prepared the syllabus and they offered all the university, if you adopt this 70%, the rest 3% you do it. I refused. I said I will not adopt 70%. Because it is wrong. Universities are known for their syllabus. Universities are known who are, and I am a 70-year-old university, DDU Gorakhpur, and how you can compare? Anyway, if there's a new university, they can adopt that course. I'll not do it. So there was saying the settlement, because this is a CM constituency, so DDU Gorakhpur is important, those things happening. Probably people there who are at the helm of affair, they don't understand this system. I am understanding because I came from agriculture. I came from the perfect semester system, credit system, those I studied it. I am able to shape up more. I am able to. Dr. Vivekanand ji, this is a market-driven economy. Market is driving economy, and that is all education based on the economy market-driven economy are successful. We are otherwise what we are doing when what we are doing here. It Gorakhpur University, 70-year-old university, offers around 60 courses, which they prepared in last 70 years. They are offering 50 courses to 5 lakh students. Same time, this is BHU is offering around 1800 to 2000 courses for 25,000 students they have. Delhi University offers around 700 to 800 courses. Calcutta offer more, 900 courses to their student. And 85% university, which are the affiliating university like this, like DDU Gorakhpur, they offer 40, 50 courses, BA, BCom, BSc, MSc in physics, chemistry, maths. So like that. So it's a are not we are denying BHU is offering 2000 courses to our student, 5 lakh student, exposure of those courses. Princeton University offers 12,000 courses for its 24,000 students. Literally, each for one course, there is only 2 students. This is the mark. That's how they are maintaining it. We are producing students which are not getting, they will not get job because these courses are not market based. The things in education system are changing very fast. What I want to say, there are very few persons who understand all these dimensions. I can understand because I studied here in HAU. I was also in University of Nebraska for some time. I was also in Tennessee State University. So, but there are very few persons who understand this education setup, who is going to help. And without, there are many who doesn't understand the system, and they are at the helm of affair. They are shaping up our education. I'm not criticizing my education system, but we should know our weaknesses. I said, if we are not careful, if you are saying new education policy is a Indianization of the education, I don't agree with that. I don't. What do you want? RSS is forcing anyway. You speak Hindi में करिए, local language में करिए. Yes, why? Can we study a science in Hindi and compete internationally? It's an era of internationalization. You should know local language. You should know Hindi. You should be good in English, and you should be good in one foreign language. That makes you better. Why Hindi is being taught in around 70 departments, 70 more than say in Europe, and 30 in US. But Chinese is not that flexible because we know English. Our background, education, you should not stop it. If we know 5 languages, we are certainly better in education market. What was Chinese? What is best destination of American professor nowadays in their vacations? They are going China. Why they are going China in vacations? Because Chinese want to translate Chinese to English. Some professors. So those professors understanding Chinese, they come to for translation because Chinese are not as good in English as we are. So education has to be seen this perspective, market-based perspective. We have to create those courses, and I am so happy. This agriculture education is very, very market-based. They because government from beginning has taken care. The setup of that agriculture university is quite better than other. If you compare, the best setups are coming in IITs. If you compare, the best setup are IITs. They are huge investment coming from government, and they are getting best students also. IITs are not as best our talented students are there. Our screening procedures are there. So, and next is agriculture. Agriculture setup is also bad. Nobody, recently, I want to share one thing, one good thing. Uh, when I came, first day, 5th September, I joined Gorakhpur University. So I declared first day of May, I declared my first year, after first year, I'll bring my university in top 100 universities of country. And next year, second year, I'll bring top 50 university of country. This is what I promised, which no UP universities there. No state UP universities, even among top 100 universities of there. So I'm happy to share that recently there is QS ranking. QS is basically UK-based this evaluation agency. So they rank the universities international ranking. Usually they used to participate in international ranking. So in national ranking, top 150 no Indian universities there. Later on, there are certainly we are not placed in Indian international ranking, but they also ranked some of the countries because US, India, China, the huge setup we have, a huge setup we have. So they rank Indian university, they rank Chinese university, they rank some of the Japanese university, they rank the Korean university. They are playing a big role in addition to European and American university. These universities, students are playing big role in education market share. It's a big market share. So why they ranked India? So they 1,000 university India have. So we were placed 96th among top 100, and no UP and Bihar university or Uttarakhand university, state university was among the top 100 of QS ranking. We were placed. So I was very happy. So because we were trying, we are preparing for that. Then there was like UP IIT Kanpur was at 6th position, and BHU was at 21st position, and Aligarh University was at 31st position. But they were at central university, their central system, huge investment. I said, I gave an interview. I said that the government should think about a university like Gorakhpur. We are having 500 colleges. We have so huge infrastructure, and government is paying only 15% of our salary. Everything we have to do, and they are preparing the corridor of secretariat. They are preparing our courses. They are preparing our guidelines. They are doing a lot of interference. They have no plan. Neither central government have any plan, neither state government has any plan to look for how we can strengthen the infrastructure there. So then, how can we introduce the concept of new education policy? Do they have some budget? Or just because 8 lakh people gave the feedback, new education policy will be successful? We need specialization. We need this happens in the campuses. We don't need this political, so many organizations, they're claiming they have contributed new education policy. What they have contributed? The things which has to happen with the head of department and board of studies and with the expert. How can you contribute? How all the blocks can contribute? How the Gram Pradhan can contribute? That's bullshit. I feel bad about it. One day it will fail. If we will go like that, if we will not concentrate in the universities, it will fail like that as it failed doubling of agriculture income. That will be one of the biggest things this time. So I'm sorry.
Sir, just now you said, and I would like to salute your vision, because you have been harping on this particular fact that the students, those who are pursuing agriculture, they are exceptionally brilliant people, and they come only next to IIT. So do you foresee that such a scenario unfolding in the future, where like an IIT, it is a national level examination and one of the toughest examinations in Asia. So do you foresee such a scenario erupting even in the agriculture sector, where the students will be jostling for few seats, whereas the number of people competing for it would be disproportionately more? So do you foresee such situation unfolding in the immediate future or in the near future?
What I want to say, because agriculture setup is something we should learn. We should learn this affiliating university, because I am vice chancellor of this affiliating university, some of them. So that the training part, the setup, the offer of courses, the campus, that SAMSA system, those are the real professional system. Those students are made professionally more stronger than these state university affiliating universities doing. So those things you said, mainstream. There's nothing like mainstream. Everyone has to go equal. I feel a university should have as much of as courses, as much of as faculty in a campus. Even though these agricultural universities came, they have a better setup. Like I named around 10 of the faculties. Literally each, like whether fisheries, whether veterinary, whether agriculture, whether agriculture engineering, whether animal science, whether basic science, whether home science, whether food science, this all have, if you go, they all will have around 10 to 12 departments. So literally we have 100 departments. So there, or if you come to these universities like ours, even Bihar, if you new university, old university, Darbhanga has around 19 department, and Patna University has slightly more, 20, 21 department. And this Pune, it was a new university, and these like that, they don't have large number of departments. And they are, because it's a narrowing down of education. So this you have to learn from agriculture, how they beautifully they developed. We never thought about that. We have to diversify. Economics has to diversify in agriculture economics, MBA in agriculture, like that. So this diversification is needed. We have to see those things. And because we are so busy, even I felt very bad in Purnia when I found that 10,000 seats of science were vacant and 7,000 seats of commerce was vacant. And there were excess student in arts. Because our college, our college, Constituent College, their teacher, there was more teacher on Urdu, there were more teacher on Hindi, more teacher on history. And they taught, they used study only this. They don't go for that. So those things we have to learn from agriculture, how to diversify. That's a really agriculture has a lot of professional potential. The way we have planned it, the agriculture university has planned it. We have research because maybe it was a Nehru vision. Maybe Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan was there in the beginning. Our leaders thought these two fields are important. So we got more attention. We got better setup. The employment rate is very high. Our students are professionally strong. I feel I'm very strong vice chancellor than the regular mainstream's vice chancellor. I feel when I talk to them, I feel I'm professionally more competent. So that better system I have inherited. Haryana Agriculture University is one of the very, very best universities, very good universities. So those things are there. We have to learn. And our university should have the pattern of US university, should have agriculture also, should have, I feel like BHU pattern. When we talk about Ivy League University, no, Ivy League University is a university of American University of Excellence. So Ivy League University, there was, if you remember, UPA government type, when Kapil Sibal of Education Minister. So he said that we should create Ivy League University in India also. So they said ki that which can be. So they named it a Navratna University. So our Vice Chancellor, DP Singh, who is the present UGC chairman, he was a Vice Chancellor. So he also kept me in committee. So they started exploring all Indian universities, agriculture university there. Which universities come as this Navratna University? So BHU was more suited, best suited on Ivy League pattern. Why? Because in the same campus you have agriculture, you have veterinary, you have engineering, you have a medical, you have a social science, you have a Sanskrit, the arts faculty, commerce faculty, everything you talk about. There was 162 departments. So that is the ideal place. We have to develop on the pattern of agriculture university, BHU, these universities. We have to learn. That's a strength. Even agriculture universities, I know Pantnagar, they have 100 departments. 100. If you have large number of departments, you have more courses. Princeton University offered 12,000 courses. Harvard offered 10,000 courses. Cornell's offer 9,000 courses for 25,000 students. This is a market-based economy. I remember one course of agriculture. I tell you one course of packaging. It's offered in the NIRD. There is a National Institute of Rural Development, Hyderabad. There is a management of agriculture extension something. So agriculture students and commerce students are offered. So do you know, it's a very rare, not best students are going. But the first batch of 100, they were placed, average package 5 lakhs. Because it is specialized. The only thing is they had a collaboration with the Michigan State University, whose Department of Agriculture Economics has this packaging department, who is the one best in the world. They collaborated with that. 3 professors used to come, and they used to charge $10,000 a month, $30,000, 21 lakhs rupees. But the average package 5 lakh is something IITs do not have. IIT's average package is not 5 lakhs. Maybe 1 crore there is, but if you go for average, it goes below 5 lakhs. Because there are so many IITs, you know how the market is. So such courses are needed to devise. These are the market-based courses. And a lot of market-based courses are coming from agriculture. If you go in detail, food science and those things. So you talk me because I can talk on any topic. You understand?
Sir, actually one thing
So,
I would like to know that you have been emphasizing on this very important fact that education must be market driven. Because if it is useless, you see, it is futile if we go on just producing thousands and thousands of graduates, whereas we cannot offer them jobs because there are no jobs. And even if there are very scarce number of jobs, whereas those who are chasing for it are huge in number. Now, I would like to know from you, because you are a visionary leader and trying to implement the vision that you already brought it from your that is Hyderabad Institute, where you were an agriculture scientist. Thereafter, you worked as a vice chancellor in Pundia. So I want to know that you have been talking in such a illustrative terms about the sort of courses that you have introduced at your own university, where there are multiple colleges, of course. So, sir, do you think, or do you have a vision to provide the employment to all those students who are pursuing agriculture at your university in various colleges? Because there are very few jobs today in proportion to the number of students that we have in any department. So how do you foresee? Don't you think there will be a huge unemployment over time because the job market will not be able to absorb all these graduates? Your take on this, sir?
that's a very good question. Very good question. In fact, I'll recall my interview with Her Excellency. When I was she gave some of the question. Then I said, Madam, I will request you ask such questions to me. What question? When you ask as a Vice Chancellor, what do you promise? How many students you will give the job in your 3-year, 10-year? 1, 1,000, 10,000, 12. Can you make some commitment? How much how much funds you will bring to that university? I already told from government we are getting 15%. Like our budget for salary is around 109 crore, 109, 110. And we are hardly getting 18 crore from government. Rest of we are getting from own resources. So when we are getting from own resources, we must be allowed to plan it, the courses, and plan it for the student, which is rare, which is not possible because there is a lot of government aid. So we must plan. Every university must have a very strong placement cell. Whether it's not only agriculture, you are offering more job. It's a all allied field also. What I did in my 6-7 months, I introduced around 64 courses. There is a course of food science. There was course of fisheries. There was course of MBA in agribusiness management. There's a course of packaging. There is a course like these courses. 65 new courses I introduced, which I expect there is a market oriented. There is a course on hotel management, course on catering, course on food nutrition, course on nursing. So these these courses, just my 1 minute, this laptop is indicating low battery, so I just put on this thing. So those things has to be planned. Those has to be, a vice chancellor should focus on it. Agriculture university really did better job by placing it well. I opened agriculture faculty here. You are in self-financing mode. I did not ask any money from government. I opened it by self-financing mode. I had a building. I allotted 5 crore rupees for renovation of that, and now we have already for 150 students. We have got 2,000 applications, and I have started engineering. I have started a new institute of sports science and physical education. There's one of the I started based on Center Institute of Genomics and Bioinformatics. That's also I got it from because I worked in genetics. So that's a future of biological sciences will be ruled by this thing. So this sort of strategy has to be planned for that guarantees employment. That mechanism environment has to develop in the campus. That has to. It's not only vice chancellor. Vice chancellor duty is plan it. Every teacher, every head of department should be involved in those things. Whether it's agriculture, it's a non-agriculture. I created one thing, earn by learn. Earn by learn that, and I offered already 100 students. Earn by learn is very simple things. We'll bring student to work for 2 hours, maximum in a day, and maximum 15 days in a month. So they can work for 30 hours. And we offer per hour 100 to 150 rupees. So they can earn something 3,000 to 4,500 a month. But the sense of getting job, sense of getting that environment makes them very, very competitive. Such environment should come in all the campuses, whether it's agriculture university, whether this thing. So I will expect 1 or 2 more specific questions.
Sir, actually, one thing you as you have been saying, it just struck my mind that you already emphasized on collaboration with the foreign universities, because it has been going on, and especially in such a scenario when the cataclysmic sorrow has struck the humanity by way of this pandemic. So obviously collaboration has become an institutionalized norm. Today I got a call from the honorable gentleman from Bokaro and he is very much listening and viewing this particular our program. He is a retired engineer of SEL, Steel Authority of India Limited, and he has joined hands with many of his colleagues to promote two panchayats, to develop, to transform these two panchayats, and they have already made some headway, in their project. So do you as a leader, educational leader, especially presiding over the destiny of an agricultural university, so do you also foresee any such possibility of collaborating with such organizations where the people are desperate to promote agricultural activities and to bring about a transformation in tune with the vision of the nation, of the current government? So you think that such collaboration is desirable and it should be undertaken at your level as well?
This is very good question. I said it that NAP is saying Indianization of education. They should say it is a time for internationalization of education. But just by saying we cannot do everything. But just by signing collaboration, we cannot do everything. Our 8 lakh students, 6 to 8 lakh students, every year they are going abroad in American and European universities. And they are paying very high fees. They are paying our foreign exchange exchequer as good as 60,000 crore rupees. Our budget for higher education is only 34 to 35,000 crore rupees. And it is stagnant from last 10 years. It's not 30,000, this slowly minor. Government has no plan. I take it as a strength as well as a weakness. In meantime, the outside students, which are those are coming to India, are around 45,000 in 18, 46,000 in 19, and 47,000. They have not crossed 50,000 in 20. And those students basically who are coming to India is basically from SAARC country, Afghanistan, Nepal, and they are coming on the fellowship offered by government, Afghanistan government or Indian government. So they are not helping in our economy. But Indian and Chinese students who are going to study the US, they are running the American universities. If we withdraw Indian and Chinese students, there will be a huge economic, everyone wants Indian and Chinese students. So we don't have shortage of money. Our student, can we stop those 8 lakh students who are going to there? Can our universities is set up like that? That is a proper time to think about that. How to do it. It's not just writing a MAU. I did some of the experiment. Today in my website, first year, we have received application for 51 foreign students. How? In 6-7 months, I did it. I am offering international fellowship. I created special fellowship, international fellowship, some to our student. Our PhD student can go for 3 to 6 months there and can do part of research there. And for their student, we have offered around 19 fellowship. So that is on our website. But there's a website also, the rates of courses, those things, everything is there. So you have to think in that direction, how to attract them, in which courses to attract them. There is always shortage of good teacher. I have created a pool of international faculty. It's not that we are just writing MAU, it will work. I have fixed a rate of $100. If someone from US online, they want to teach, I fix that rate. So that's internationalization, how to bring them close to you and how do you go to close it. It's not just signing of it. I'm happy to say when I was in BHU, I was instrumental in getting signed 38 international MAU. But tell you, those international MAU were started and negotiated first from foreign university. They understand our strength, but we don't understand this thing. So we have to understand. Now we have to understand international education system, including agriculture. Agriculture have an important role. That system, that collaboration, we have to understand how to attract, how to strengthen our university. That's a thing you have to keep on thinking, and that's a not a, it's a serious job. Still, I tell you, the American university are 25 years ahead of us.
And what about China University, sir? Well, how do you rate Chinese university vis-a-vis ours?
Yes. Among top among top 250 QS ranking, around there were 38 Chinese universities.
Okay.
And we had IITs. We had 4 or 5 IITs. Those there. I tell you, they are doing good. They are progressing well. But still, American university, China is investing a lot of things on artificial intelligence. So much investment they are doing, but they wish to be trained in American universities. Their training and education system is so well. We should understand. We should adopt. Even Chinese are doing good because there's so much students. But their training part, they're really good. And we should understand that. And we should replicate it. ये सोचना ही चाहिए कि हम वो अमेरिकन है हम वो हैं. Good thing we should replicate. Good part we have to replicate. So that is, and we have a competition. Chinese are quite ahead because they are investing more in education than what we are investing. It's a 50 times more than what we are investing in our education system. So it's basically physically, if you will do it, will happen. If you don't want to, I was in Pune University. They gave me only 2 crore rupee government and some old college building. What you can expect me? I cannot create miracles. And still, it's our 4th year. The government doesn't have a plan. Why to create universities like that? So we have to see basically how to plan it well. And internationalization of education should be the main aim of a new education policy and every subject. When I talk to my student, I say, prepare wherever you are studying in Darbhanga, whether you're studying Pune, whether you're studying Gorakhpur. See what is the best in your subject. Target for that. Plan for that. Understand that path. You will achieve something. So it's flooded with talent. Indian universities are flooded, whether it's Pune or Darbhanga. Only thing you have to show them the path. Yes, sir.
Sir, we have a research facility is absolutely at a very low level, vis-a-vis that of China as well as USA. So, and the government overall budgetary allocation is absolutely negligible. It is 3.1% of the overall budget allocation. So, when we need to update our research and development, just in order to elevate our own standard vis-a-vis that of China or USA, where from that fund will come? Because we are languishing at the bottom of the social pyramid, at the bottom of the international pyramid. So until unless we ameliorate our own research and development facilities, we stand nowhere. So where from this fund or allocation will come? How we are going to enrich our research and development? That is a key point. I would like your take on this, sir, because you are already into research and development. You are presiding over the destiny of a university. So how do you think that we can also come at a par with that of China in terms of elevating our own research and development facilities?
You see, I was telling government doesn't have a serious plan for investing in that, though they have created research fund and those things. But there should be a mechanism, there should be an environment in the university campus, how to attract funding, and who attracts funding, how to promote them, how to promote such teacher. Those systems should be there. if anyone doing if assistant professor in Hindi, he doesn't have any publication, anything. He's teaching. He's also promoted associate professor and some physics assistant professor. He does a very good impact factor. He's also promoted forward. So that mechanism has to be built in. That promotes research. There are funds. There are mechanisms that we can generate funds. They should be allowed to generate funds. Even the university should be encouraged. And certainly government has also to come forward. This is one new education policy. They have created 50,000 crore something national fund. That's a welcome step. And that I hope it's not only number, it is channelized in the university and our research system. Sometimes it is more of a political number than actually channelizing. And that without resources, we cannot expect our researchers to be the top class.
Sir, one thing, because since now we are, you have already enlightened us, enlightened our viewers on multiple dimensions of education, especially at the higher education level. So today, you know, our students community, whether they are at a secondary level or at the higher education level, everyone has a sense of anxiety, a sense of an overwhelming concern as to how the future will unfold. And especially in the context of virtual platform, having already achieved a speed dominant stage. So what is your message for the students community by and large? How would they manage to navigate themselves through this, you know, humongous crisis? It's, you know, an unprecedented crisis. Your, you know, message for the entire students community, because you are an epitome of experience. You have been a leader for decades together, having a blend of scientific knowledge as well as academic knowledge. So your message will enable them to uplift themselves, especially from their somber mood, because they are crestfallen today. They don't understand how to visualize their future. So how would you say, you know, how would you elevate their mood? How would you contribute to uplifting their overall mindset? Please, your message to entire students community, sir.
Online education system is a very strong system of education, and every student should understand it and utilize it properly. Our students are not trained to understand that system. I remember in Pune when I said for PG, PhD and other thing, I'll take examination from home. So Pune is basically gross enrollment ratio is less than 9%. And Bihar is at 13 point lowest in India, highest in Tamil Nadu 48 point. So people did not think the student will respond. What we did is simply we sent the question paper on their WhatsApp. We asked them to write on their A4 size and send them back. We twisted the questions. We slightly made indirect questions. I was sure there was not so much cheating. And every 10,000, 100% student attempted and sent it. Initially, they thought they cannot do it. This online education system is a very strong system, but most of universities weak platform in that. Universities has to strengthen. There should be a comprehensive online education platform on each of the website of university. And all what you are teaching physically should be available there. I am also working. This is one of the most important learning of corona scenario. University has learned. The smart university has created those platforms. Because whatever you are doing offline, that should be available online. And student should, because most of the students are in village. It's not difficult. They should be exposed. They should keep on trying. They should try to assess that system. It's available. If it is available in this university, it's available in other university. It's available. It's not available in south, it is available in north. If it is not available in north, it's available in south. If it is not there, you go abroad. You keep on searching it. student has to educate them. They have to come forward. They have to two things: their language and IT platform. They should make themselves strong, and there should not be any barrier. Still, those things are coming. Those students are trying. I'm the first person in Gorakhpur. I did PhD entrance examination from home. From 20 states, a student applied. Our results was very good. There was a more failure. Percentage of failure was like Allahabad University did it physically. So the 7,000 student applied there, and only around 2,000 around 3,000 students qualified. We did here out of 6,000 students, only 60% applied. Appeared in examination. Here, when we started from home, 85% student applied, and there was a more failure. So online education system has to strengthen. The message is very clear. Students should be friendly. They keep self-education, and then that's a way to stay in the mainstream of the education.
So viewers, today we have had a very engrossing interaction in continuation of our Education Pe Charcha. You all have heard the enlightened vision of the educational leader, that is Honorable Vice Chancellor of Gorakhpur University, that is Pandit Dayal Upadhyay University, Professor Sri Rajesh Singh Sahab, who, although we did start our proceedings a bit late because of his preoccupation with the myriad activities at the university, but nevertheless, as soon as he joined our proceeding, it was electrifying. You all heard that, he emphasized on this very important point that whatever may be the so-called, the conventional mindset, but this is an age of globalization where we cannot think of jettisoning English as a medium of instruction. And we simply cannot think of indigenizing or replacing English by any other national, so-called national language, because English gives us the heft. English gives us the advantages over that of our Chinese counterpart. And as Professor Saab, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, was absolutely categorical in terms of his assertion that the professors, from America, they visit China just for the sake of translating the English language into Chinese, or for simplifying the overall teaching methodology, because Chinese are inferior to us so far as English language is concerned, and this is our USP. Most importantly, he also emphasized on collaboration part, on how agriculture is already into the national mainstream, and good students. Whereas he was categorical in terms of articulating this very fact unambiguously, that the brilliant students today are in fact opting for agriculture as their specialization. This is indeed a great sign. And another fact that he had harped upon, for all of us to imbibe, that is the spirit of never say die attitude, and continue to learn, because knowledge has no substitute in this world. So therefore, emphasizing more on university collaboration, emphasizing more on the pedagogy to be followed at the university level, sharing his vast experience with the students community and the teaching community today. The Honorable VC Sahab has indeed gladdened all of us, illuminated today's Education Pe Charcha, and I salute Honorable VC Sahab for sharing his vast pool of experience and expertise with a vast number of students about the modus operandi that he had institutionalized wherever he had gone, whether it was Purnia, and the very stark reality he pointed out, that how in Purnia University, so many seats in commerce and science went blank because there was a preconceived mindset of the students to join art stream. So this is where, we have to draw an inspiration that, we should do something unconventional. We should try to embrace a path which is not yet, treated, or which is not yet charted. We should always think of, traversing down the uncharted path. This is what he had said, for attaining success. I thank you, sir, from the core of my heart for enlightening our proceedings today and sharing, with our vast section of students, community and teaching community, those who have already joined live. Maybe many of them might have withdrawn because we indeed kick-started the session a bit late, because I already, conveyed that sir's preoccupation. We have to appreciate the, in the very context of his occupation or preoccupation with so many myriad activities. So therefore, today indeed we have had an electrifying session. Second education pe charcha, after we began the session with another giant, that is Dr. Sri Jagannath Patnaik Sahab in our first education pe charcha. Today we have had another electrifying session with Dr. Sri Rajesh Singh ji, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Gorakhpur, Pandit Dayal Upadhyay. Sir, I really, with my head bowed down, I receive, and on behalf of all my, my viewers, I congratulate you, I thank you, because you are into translating the vision of Pandit Dayal Upadhyay. I remember having read very recently, a magnum opus of Sri Lal Krishna Advani ji, My Country, My Life, wherein, the vision of Pandit Dayal Upadhyay ji was very much, was encapsulated in its comprehensive details. So Antodaya means the last person standing in a queue. Likewise, Antodaya from the educational perspective, it connotes the last student who is absolutely standing behind all the good students. We have to nurture such students. We have to hone such skills in such students. And that is what VC Sahab has, unfolded his vision, that his vision of agriculture is meant for one and all. And one should increasingly take to agriculture as their vocation. And there should be no bar or no hesitation or inhibition to choose education, to choose agriculture, because agriculture is already into the national mainstream and it has a huge scope for opportunity for, as what VC Saab has categorically asserted in course of his interaction with me. So I thank, sir, when I, with my head bowed down, with my hand, I salute you for sharing your vision with you, sir, with all of us, sir. And, my dear viewers, before we part our ways, before I just bid you, all of you, a goodbye with such a scintillating session that we have already had in today's interaction with Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, I would like to make an announcement for our coming Saturday's Education Pe Charcha with another corporate leader, that is Sri Sanjay Kumar Jha. He is going to be the leader, another person with whom we are going to share. He will share our vision, his vision with all of you on next Saturday, that is 3rd of July. My interaction with Sri Sanjay Jha, Kumar Jha, who was an insurance leader not only in India, but today he is presiding, guiding one of the topmost insurance giants in Oman. So we are looking forward to a scintillating discussion with him. And I thank Dr. Sri Rajesh Singh Sahab, the Honorable VC. Sir, keep guiding all of us as to how we can do best from our side. Thank you, sir. Thanks to all my viewers. Thanks to Vidyadan for giving us such a great platform. Thank to all our stakeholders for this brilliant session today.